so close to winning races here, and he's right on the pace. He has to have more close second place finishes than anyone else in recent times. He's just explaining there the speed of the bike. The guys are jumping out of the corners more than he can do.
He said something like it was better when the tank was empty, or something. He was pointing at the tank.
Get that big microphone boom in there and see if we can get some.
Peter Hickman
running his trendy sweat cap there. He's going to do a bit of swimming after this session.
Pope.
Davey Todd, race winner in the middle of your picture.
How much more composed does Dean Harrison look after doing 6 laps than he did 4 laps when that bike was tying itself in knots?
Good point. Good point, Lee. He was absolutely sweating before last time.
And he looks so much more content now, and yeah, definitely has took half the amount of effort to do 6 laps on a bike that doesn't want to throw you out through the hedge.
Anybody interested? 39.5 degrees of track temperature. That's the warmest the track has been all week so far.
Thought you were going to say since World War II.
Well, it was VE Day the other day, so we could come into that if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's no, the weather here has been amazing. It was slightly cooler this morning than it had been all week, and I didn't think it was going to warm up. But yeah, the weather now is.
Were you concerned about whether the track would be too warm for tyres?
It would be getting to that point. Anything over 40 degrees will be.
Well, we're not going there.
Yeah.
Has that ever been known in Northern Ireland? Track temperature over 40 degrees?
You need to be careful what you say when you're in our country.
I'm in our country.
Yeah, I'm not quite Yorkshire just yet. Yeah, Davey Todd looks a lot happier with that result.
Yeah. Jason Griffiths behind them, the Welshman from Metzler, looking at the rear tyre, trying to get as much information as he can from that, because we've still got a Superbike race to go yet, so he'll be interested in tyre pressure, tyre temperature.
It's currently 2-0 to the team managers in Heat 10.
That shows you just there. You can see the strip in the middle.
We could ask Dean just to spin that tyre around so we could have a quick look at the rest of it. But
looks good though.
Oh, he's gonna? No, maybe.
No, the tyre people come.
There we go. See?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Was there a bit of missing there? Yeah, that's right. He spushed it back round again. But yeah, it's interesting to see if we can get a look at the other guys' tyres as well. But the teams are very quick just to cover them up.
Let's have another look in there if we can get in and have a nose at the BMW.
They've changed that.
Little chunk. No, there's a little chunk there. Look out of the right in the middle of that tyre.
Let's go down to Parc Fermé then and pick up with Stephen Watson.
David Todd, congratulations. Great win.
Yeah, over the moon with that one. I've been pretty fired up after how today's gone, and it's been eating away at me, and then had a little technical issue again in the Supersport race, and yeah, it's been working me up a little bit, and just not had the best of luck this time here. But yeah, these boys, the A10 Racing boys, Monster Energy, you know, they've done a fantastic job in such a short space of time to put these bikes together. We're literally every session out, we're trying to test new things because we've had no testing, and I've just got to give it up to them. They've done a fantastic job, and again, we've got both our bikes on the podium, and yeah, just really stoked to that.
2-0 to you at the moment amongst the two team managers.
What's that?
It's 2-0 and the win's the team manager.
yeah, it is, and he's fighting me all the way for it. It's some great racing out there with Dean as well. It's always great to battle with Dean, always hard but fair, and man, that Honda's got some top speed down the back straight. Every time Dean come by me and he pulled the stickers off the side of the bike, and really it actually scared me when he came by, but yeah, really stoked to manage to get the win, and I feel like Superstock's always my strongest class, but yeah, give it up to the Monster Energy 810 Racing.
What about the last Superbike race with everything that's happened so far at this event? How hungry are you to win the big one?
I'm hungry as I've ever been to win this last race. I got a massive point to prove. We should have won. We should have won the first one this morning. We won the one yesterday. It really should have been a 3 for 3. It's not giving the 810 Racing boys the credit. We had a small technical issue, just really unlucky on the electronics of the bike. Frustrating to get caught in that other one for whatever reason it was, and yeah, I'm out there to win that last Superbike race, so we're aiming to do it.
have a rest, get ready. We look forward to seeing you in action later. Davy Todd, winner of the Superstock race, and yet another podium for this man. Dean Harrison. You came so close again to that win.
No, honestly, I was hanging in there then. I was struggling to keep Pete behind me. The top speed of our bike so strong, the Honda's so fast. I'm just struggling. I was starting to go up the box a bit, had a few little issues, but no, I hung in there till the end really, just taking a lot out of me.
You're saving the best for last, I am sure. The last Superbike race of the day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to try and hopefully learn what we've learned on this, and we'll transfer across. And I've got a race in between now to have a cup of tea and have a rethink.
And how much did you enjoy that battle at the front there with Davy Todd?
No, honestly, I'm really enjoying my riding. I mean, doing that's such good fun. And the thing is, I never know. I don't tell the pit board man to tell me how much of a group of people are with me. So I wasn't sure if it were 3, 4, 5, 6. You just never know. Because Alistair were coming past a couple of times at the start, but he must have dropped off somewhere. And then Pete started showing his nose, and I just did my best to keep him behind me.
Well, good luck in the last one. I think you can feel the love from everyone around here at the circuit. I think they're dying for you to get a win here. Dean, congratulations. Well done. Back on the podium again, as is Peter Hickman. Peter, great to get the two of you back in here to the winner's enclosure.
Yeah, exactly. Great for 810 racing again. Not quite a 1-2 again. I was close. I did get into second place at one point, and I don't know, I broke slightly earlier than Davey into Metropole, and he still managed to get the bike stopped, and I had to run on a little bit. So let the boys back through again, but I feel really strong on the bike. The bike feels really good. Not quite got the top speed of a couple of the other bikes, but overall, yeah, really happy. You know, the bike's handling so good. Through the coast road in particular, Magic Roundabout, all that kind of link road section, I was really strong. So bodes well for the TT, obviously later in the month, but just really happy again. BMW, Monster Energy, getting all the sponsors that help us, getting 810 double podium again. Yeah, I can't ask for too much more.
It's a hot day. How are the energy levels?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I get a little bit of a rest now because I'm not going out in the twins. I did the Supersport race instead. We're only allowed to do 5 races in a day. And because we had a problem with the Super Twin earlier, we've decided to not race it this afternoon, which is why I raced the Trooper bike instead in Supersport. So yeah, get a little rest now and then onto the big bike and see what we can do. Yeah,
finally, give me your thoughts on that Northwest 200 Superbike race with all the added spice that's gone on today.
The added spice, is that the political way of saying it? Politically correct. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we just don't even bother with the chicanes from now on and just crack on.
No, I think that's more controversial than mine. Peter, thank you very much indeed. Well done. Congratulations.
No worries, mate. Thanks.
Philip McCallan is with me. You could hear there, Philip, in Davy Todd's comments, he really wanted to win that race, didn't he?
Yeah, like let's not forget he is like a pretty super stock champion, so he knows how to ride that bike. He says he admitted he feels comfortable on that bike. That's probably his strongest class, but mind you, he's making the Superbike a pretty strong class for himself as well, and I know the feeling. He just wanted that win, and realistically, when you look at it, there was nothing going to stop him winning that race.
And even with the performance of the machines here, sometimes can it be mind over matter, and if you really want to win something, it gives you that extra edge, do you think?
Yes, I know that because I have experienced that before. You know, my bike's been slightly down on speed, and you want to win so bad you can, and you use all your tricks, you use all your experience, you just use everything you have to win that race, and that's what Davey done. You know, he worked it all out. Dean Harrison, he's getting so close. Just one of these times, Dean's going to get that win. You know, the Honda was definitely the fastest bike out there. You know, it was pulling out in the straights and it was going through, but Davey just dug deep. You know, he just was braking good. He was getting off corners good, and like he won the race.
Yeah, as others grabbed the headlines like Richard Cooper, Michael Dunlop, Davy Todd, Dean Harrison has had a wonderful Northwest 200.
Probably, I haven't worked it out yet, but if you work it all out, all his second places, like, you know, this keep adding up, and if you put it in the points, he's definitely up there with the best riders, you know, this week so far. And maybe, just maybe, it'd be great if he did pip one before the day's out.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Dean Harrison get a victory here. Jenny, give us your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd love to see Dino on the top step. He's been second place man so often. Like you say, I don't know how many actual podiums he's got under his belt now, but it must be...
I think that's 14, at least 14. 14,
wow, yeah. It's cool to see how friendly all the guys are as well. They're all having banter between each other, you know.
They are. It was unlike a couple of the winners' enclosures today. It was nice and friendly in there, that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. I do like the Toddy Peter kind of boss man scenario. 2-0 to Toddy.
It certainly is. Time for the podiums. Back to the commentary box.
Thank you, guys. So up here in the commentary position, we are waiting for an undisputed podium, which is quite nice, I've got to say, not having to discuss any kind of controversy or conspiracy in the theory department. Great ride from the three men.
At least that mentions chicanes. You guys are the two guys that know what it was like to not have any here.
Yeah, there wasn't a single chicane here when I first came. It literally was, and it's known as the 9 Mile Triangle, and it was virtually.
Well, you went down to
We
University.
went all the way down to
another
Coleraine,
mile.
yeah. I didn't mean to. No, I did. It was where the corner was.
Outbraked himself again. Yeah, different racetrack altogether. Well, the first year I came here is when they first turned over the link road.
Yeah.
So, the podium. Great sight.
Dean
Harrison.
There can't be a fan in Northern Ireland that doesn't want Dean Harrison to win a race.
No, there isn't. Or a former rider or a team person, I don't think. I mean, everybody wants to see Dean Harrison win a race because he really is. He's a nice guy.
Even his honesty in that interview. Yeah, I was up my limit. That was me. Do you know what I mean? Most other people would say, I had a bit in the locker. But
I think that's really appreciated in particularly in this kind of region sporting circles because people appreciate, gentlemen in that situation.
Like us three.
Yeah, we're honest. Well, I am.
Why have you got your fingers crossed then?
He's known as Honest Steve. He's got his legs crossed, his fingers crossed.
I'm honest.
Honest, yeah. At least I sleep at night with a clear conscience.
Yeah. It looks really good, that new 810 branding and stuff on the bike. It looks smart.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm just waiting to see if Keith Ewan wants to say another thing about the national anthem in Northern Ireland to see if he's digging himself out of that hole again.
I didn't make that hole. It's a national anthem. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but that goes for anybody that's not a royalist as well, of course. There's so many things that you can get yourself into trouble with the national anthems, and
these bottles of champagne are looking a bit fancy.
they are indeed. It's almost looking like a Batham's bottle of champagne. It's, Michael Rudder had something to do with
He'd have emptied and put lemonade in them.
That's for sure. So we have a Super Twins race and then the feature race still to come, the Northwest 200 Superbikes. 6 laps is looking a bit special, but the Super Stocks that we've just had, great race. And again, another win for Davey Todd from Dean Harrison and Peter Hickman. We just saw them spraying the champagne. Alistair Seeley, a good 4th place from Alistair Seeley. He will be disappointed not to get amongst the top 3, but he's there or thereabouts on a motorbike that didn't look like he was going to do another day. Ian Hutchinson, 5th. Paul Jordan in 6th place. Erno Costamo, again, another. He's been very consistent, the Finn. He's been there or thereabouts in the top 10. Brad Clark came up into 8th place. Didn't see him moving on up, so that's a good ride from him. Honor Suzuki, John McGuinness in 9th place, and Michael Evans in 10th.
11th, Michael Sweeney, who we did a lap with before the race. Josh Brooks in 12th. Nathan Harrison. Mitch Rees, a newcomer, brilliant ride from him in 14th. Stephen Degnan. David Johnson.
61 years old, Stephen Degner. In fact, 65 years old,
wow,
isn't he?
Older than John McGuinness. And, wow, even older than Jeremy McWilliams. Maurizio Bottalica, and I've learned how to say that name now. Laurent Hoffman and Philip Crow from Lincolnshire.
Well, that's how they finished off. Let's have a look at how they did it, shall we? It's been a great Superstock race, and this is what happened. From the line once again, Davey Todd, the fastest starter in the West. No doubt in that at all. He really does make it quick off the line, but then it became a 3-way scrap. Alistair Seeley getting involved in bike 34. Dean Harrison looking much smoother and without the shuffle down the back straight.
Yeah, the group was quite consistent and big when the guys were doing 422s, but when they dropped down into the, 222s, but when they dropped down into the 219s, it was just the big 3 left at the end.
Michael Dunlop found himself falling out
You
the
were right
back
the
of the
first time,
situation.
4.
And then Davey Todd just managed to ease himself away in the end, far enough for the rest to not catch him. At the checkered flag, Davey Todd took the win. So, Super Twins are roaring away down on the front straight here. And look at the flags have closed down quite a bit as well. The flags have gone quite limp in the wind. Meanwhile, let's take a look back, shall we, at a Super Twins lap. This was with Christian Elkin, a man who broke his shoulder just a short while ago on Easter Monday, and he's racing today as well. But let's take a look back with him. On board then. Now, these motorbikes were supposed to be made for a, should we say, a cheap alternative, but they're not. They are extremely expensive to modify. They are modified pretty much more than anything else.
I tell you what is modified, Christian Elkin's
rev counter.
Yeah, it's not working a lot. There's a bit of red tape to say where it should go to, but it's not working, is it?
Yeah, obviously these bikes, I don't know if anyone's ever seen a Kawasaki ER6, but it does not look like what it looks like right now.
No, it's a shopping bike, really, isn't it?
And they don't, honestly, I've rode a few, and in my head, the only two reasons you ride a motorbike is because it goes really fast or it handles really well, and believe me, these do neither of them two things, so I don't really enjoy them. Although I've won a couple of races on them, it's not the most fun bike to ride. So.
Right. Except if you're an engineer. Yeah. Where you can fiddle around with them and make them completely different from what they were.
If you think when its series started, it dominated. There was virtually nothing else on the grid. I think there was the odd SV650 Suzuki, and that was it, wasn't it? But Kawasaki, if you went back at the start of this series, it was all dominated by it.
I don't think there's any here this week. Jenny might be able to tell us when she pops in, but there's normally patents here, and it's, I think, patents now to buy are upwards of £65,000,
which is ridiculous for
a class that should have been cheap racing. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But this is the fun part here, getting the slipstream like this, and you can feel what the rider gets to feel just over that little crest. On a superbike, that is like, the bike is really lively and you're hung onto it, but on these little things you're literally just sat in, tucked in, relaxing. There's a patent's just come past right now, so that's what £65,000 does.
There's two patents out there as it happens, and the best one was Bottalica, who ended up 10th in the first race on a patent, and then the only other one was Andy Hornby. So yeah, you're right, just two of them. But they also, it was Kawasaki, they dominated as well with the best bike, but the cost of them is ridiculous.
Yeah. We've seen that Aprilia just come up the inside there, a rather late move from whoever that was. But
here's the old red link road as well, which reminds us of how unsticky it used to be.
Such a good camera, this, in it, to get an insight. Is that Michael Sweeney in front? I think it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's who Dave bombed up the inside of Christian Elkin rather late.
Christian Elkin with a re-drilled screen, just giving us the impression of the
lowered for speed
of the non-engineering side of things.
Yeah, you've got no little air bubbles or air holes in the screen. I like to have them just to stop your helmet from buffering around a little bit. So when it sits in behind the screen, sometimes because there's no air gets through, it ends up shaking your head around. I thought it was so the people
in front of you could hear you talking, because you don't stop, do you?
Oh, there's a Peter Hickman, Michael Dunlop move on the left-hand side.
Oh, penalty coming.
No foot down there. Can't talk about that though. On the run back, like you hear these little bikes, the engine, I don't know how more of them don't blow up in the period of the Northwest 200. And over this crest now, sometimes even on a superbike, that will spin there, so the bike actually throws up into the limiter, and the bike's at 200 odd mile an hour. Hard on the brakes now. Through the chicane. This big bump there and the bike wheelies just as you crest that, straight up through the gearbox again.
What's the top end on these, Steve?
About 170, I think, is the best we've ever seen. In fact, it was Richard Cooper did 170 on one of them, which is pretty impressive, isn't it?
It actually is, and more than I was expecting you to say.
That is impressive, isn't it, for something that's not designed?
No.
I've just had a random message in, and someone has informed me, I don't know if this is true or not, but Max Biaggi also raced in Road Shift. I find that hard to believe in 250 Grand Prix.
No, you're right. He did. Huh? He was also the odd one that did that, and the odd one that never could understand that, because you could genuinely see Dean struggling out of the Metropole on that left, trying to hook the gear up.
Because you're on the toe of your foot, and trying to get underneath.
Trying to get your foot underneath it.
Well, you want to go down to go up, don't you? A normal shift rather than up to go
Impressive, that rider in front. I don't know who it is, sorry, but he had the thing on its side and his knee down long before he got to the apex at Black Hill, so really impressive riding. Hard on the brakes now, back into the last chicane. Seen some more interesting moves in here this week so far, Steve.
We have, and there's probably more to come as we look into what's going to happen now. Super Twins about. They've just gone off on their warm-up lap right now. We can hear them getting away. Have to say, out of all the bikes I hear, I'm not a fan of listening to these twins.
That's for sure, but as we complete this lap and come under the completing the 8.9 miles of the Northwest 200 track, let's go down to Stephen Watson in pit lane.
Yes, if Steve doesn't like the sound listening to them there, you'd want to try it down here right on the front row. An update on Jeremy McWilliams, who crashed earlier on at Mill Road Roundabout. He is back out for this race. I spoke to his wife Jill briefly, asked how he was. He said he's a bit sore, bumped and bruised, but happy to take place in this race, which is good to see.
Which is superb, you know, Jeremy. Look, he's taken a beating before and came back and won races, so there's no reason he can't do it again. We're very, very lucky. He's lucky. There's obviously no bones broken, and he's strong and fit enough to do it, so that's absolutely great news. But like, this race last time was between Richard Cooper and Adam McLean. Adam McLean, he rode hard. He thought he had it worked out. I think he went a little bit early and he gave all his secrets in the braking away. Richard Cooper picked up on that and won the race, but it's not going to be easy this time. Those boys are both going to be trying hard, but Jeremy, he made a few mistakes in the last Super Twin race. You know, he reckoned he got his gearing wrong, so if he gets his gearing right and gets dialed in, he could be on the rostrum as well.
Yes, they will all learn from race one, won't they?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the flags, and the headwind looks much the same now. It's really been probably much the same day, so they'll know how to get the gearing right. You know, he just made a mistake. He geared it for slipstreaming, and when there was no slipstreaming, it meant the bike was over geared and he couldn't pull them back again, so he'll not make that mistake again.
Pick a winner for us.
You know what I'm going to say? I have to back the local man this time. If Adam McLean does not pull it off this time, he'll never pull it off. He knows Richard Cooper. He knows all his tactics. He knows the modifications he needs to make to his bike, the tweaks he needs to make. So I'm going to go with a local man this time. So please, Adam, don't let me down.
It'd be a very popular win. No Jimmy Coward in this race. He was involved in an incident earlier on and was taken to hospital for treatment. So it's time for the Super Twins race. Back to commentary box.
Thank you very much. Let's take a look at how they'll line up then when they come back from their warm-up lap. Richard Cooper on pole from Adam McLean and Paul Jordan. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Aprilia across the front row. Peter Hickman, Jeremy McWilliams, slightly battered and bruised in the middle of the second row, with Michael Sweeney on the Aprilia. Jamie Coward won't be there, as we've heard. Michael Rutter, Pierre-Yves Bian are row 3.
Row 4, AJ Venter, again from South Africa, a newcomer this year. Neil Kernahan, Darrell Tweed, Barry Ferber, Marty Lennon, Daniel Ingram, Dean McMaster, Chris Duncan and Christian Elkin. Actually, I don't think AJ is a newcomer here, but he's enjoying himself.
Like a newcomer is what you mean. Christian Elkin, obviously still slightly injured from that plate he's had on his shoulder. Mauro Puccini, Martin Morris, Dara Crean, Jonathan Giotsky, Paul Williams, Michael Allen, Andy Hornby, Paul Cassidy and Andrew Hurd. Let's go down to pit lane then. Ryan Farquhar, the man of this particular car.
Yes, he certainly is. Ryan, obviously, running Richard Cooper here in this class. Feeling confident again, Ryan?
We can only do our best. I've done all I can. It's just sort of the lap of the gods now, you know, and how Richard performs. You know, he's been unreal the way he's been riding, you know, on Thursday as well. No, Michael beat him in the 600 race, but I think he has proved today, you know, how good a rider he is. So we have done the best we can, so it's just, we need a bit of luck now.
And when you look at the wind, look at the weather, have you made any alterations for this one?
Yeah, we've changed the gearing slightly. The first race, we didn't change the gearing from Thursday, and you know, he was struggling to pull it, you know, so it's just knowing how much to you know, to go. And then you go too much, then you can get a slipstream and hit the rev limiter, you know. So, look, it is, you know, hopefully when he comes back, he's good to go.
You've had some big moments here as a rider, very enjoyable ones. How does it, you know, equal when you're a team owner?
It's a lot more nervous, you know, being here. Like whenever I'm, you know, when I was racing myself, you know, you do get nervous the morning or just before a race, but once you get around the first corner, the nerves go away. But now whenever you're standing on the side watching, the nerves get worse, you know, as you're just hoping that nothing happens to the bike and there's nothing breaks, you know, and it gets the rider, especially if he's running at the front, you know, and get him to the line.
Be nice to do the double.
Oh, be unreal, but, you know.
We'll see. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much.
Love Ryan Farquhar. His passion for this class is unequalled. I think you're right. What you just chucked a line in there at the end of that read that we did on the grid a moment ago. He invented this class, and everybody has been a bit behind him since then. He could have moved to another manufacturer quite easily, but never did. He stuck with what he's got, stuck with the manufacturer he has been enhancing in this class. But some of the ideas he's came across have really brought him into controversy occasionally. We had a time where it took nearly a year before his performance was, Richard Cooper's performances were verified. And that's how long it takes sometimes when you're in a dispute situation. But Ryan really stuck to his guns and would not roll over. And I admire him for that. He didn't make a lot of friends.
No, there was some controversy here, wasn't there, with him and these fairing brackets and whatever. But I do know that Richard Cooper was reinstated with those wins.
Absolutely, which vindicated Ryan Farquhar as the engineer behind that motorcycle. Steve Plater was on the grid just there. We saw him briefly, which is probably enough for anybody. And we look across at the number 50 machine, Paul Jordan. But the KMR bike is the one to watch. 47, Richard Cooper on pole position again, the man to beat on the Jack Reed Cars Kawasaki.
He's worked out that shortcut.
You're a mischief maker, Parish, do you know that?
Paul Jordan had a technical in the first Super Twin, but hopefully they've rectified that, so fingers crossed he'll be in this.
Oh, good.
Michael Sweeney there. Well, another one that had a technical was our mate Jeremy Williams finding himself with a bit of a clattering. I didn't really know that I hadn't seen that anywhere either. So the news of Jeremy throwing himself up the road as an old boy, I mean, that's the trouble with getting older. It takes longer to repair yourself.
And you said Michael Rutter's out, Jenny, did you?
Yeah, apparently his engine has expired, or he has an electrical problem.
Yeah, we've heard of those. AJ Ventnor is the 39 machine that we're looking at there. Number 5 is Marty Lennon. Further back on the grid, so Marty Lennon from Banbridge also running a Kawasaki, but it is a Kawasaki, a Yamaha and an Aprilia across the front row. Jeremy McWilliams on the JMC Racing Aprilia. It's a good team, put a lot of effort in, and being that their main trade is roofing, never argue with roofers. They're tougher than everybody. Joey Dunlop 25 sticker on that's used as a scrutineering sticker, but to remind you, the 24th of May this year at Ballymoney from 2 o'clock, Joey Dunlop's bikes, meet the riders, rider interviews, live music, everything you like. Closed rows in Ballymoney to see the bikes around the streets. So 24th of May, Saturday the 24th of May, if you're in the country or you fancy flying in for it, it's a big respect to Joey Dunlop after 25 years. So the minute board has gone off, tyre warmers are coming off, pit attendants are moving to the safety of the path as these guys will blast off.
We just had a cloud, it's the first cloud I've seen all week, the whole week, but it's still warm and perfect conditions still. The wind is still steadying down just a touch.
They're so loud, these motorbikes. I mean, we are in the commentary position here with all the windows shut, and it rattles everything that's in here. I don't know what the noise limits are on these things, but they're obviously higher than everywhere else. 47 of Richard Cooper on pole position from the 56 of Adam McLean, from the 50 of Paul Jordan. Peter Hickman, Jeremy McWilliams, Michael Sweeney on row 2. Watch the lights, boys. Here we go then. And this is going to be ear-shattering as we head down towards turn 1. Who's it going to be that makes a hole shot? 47 gets off the line, Richard Cooper. That's a good start from Richard Cooper, a really good start from Richard Cooper. And the main man that's going to take it to him, McLean, is right there in his slipstream. McWilliams comes around the outside on the 99. Does he know? He hasn't made it. Flashing down the hill, down Millbank Avenue, Primrose Hill, and then into the braking area at York Corner. Back to bottom gear. This is a real shuffle normally. Somebody looking for the inside line there already. Anybody gone wide? Not really.
4 laps this one, so a shorter race than what we've been seeing here today.
Second wave has just left us alongside us here. We'll be able to hear ourselves think from this moment onwards. In my case, that's probably not necessary.
I think Paul Jordan has got into 3rd place there.
Mill Road roundabout. Let's have a look. Paul Jordan. You don't want to lose touch with these two out front already. They've already made a fair jump up the front.
So Paul's on Lee's old bike, which is quite interesting as well. They've made some new mods to that, and it should be flying.
When do these bikes not have new mods to them? I think they have new mods every hour. I don't know about every year. 47 leads. Richard Cooper. 56. Adam McLean is there as well.
And you're right, yeah, Paul Jordan on the Jackson racing machine. Prosper 2.
Now then, slipstream time. They just sit in each other, slipstream, a chance for a 2-pass situation by the time you get to University's breaking point.
Nothing in the speed of these two. When you look, they're kind of one gets a slipstream, then the other gets a slipstream.
You get a double bite of it, don't you?
Yeah.
The bikes, they're not fast bikes particularly. Gives you enough
These
time.
two, you couldn't have more identical as far as speed's concerned, could you?
Perfect, Nick. Philip McCallan, I think, was sticking his neck out on a bet on the 56 machine. But Richard Cooper's such a wily character. He knows everything so well.
These bikes...
Sorry.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say these bikes kick out about 110 brake horsepower.
Which is
they started off, they used to be about 90, then it went to 100, now 110.
They seem to
really good actually. When they,
I
think, particularly the Kawasaki, it starts off about 55, I think, something like that.
It's the most unlikely racing machine, isn't it? But the likes of Ryan Farquhar have found something in it that works perfectly well. So Cooper, McLean, Jordan, Hickman, McWilliams was up into 5th place. Sweeney was there in 6th place. Coward in 7th place. Rutter down in 8th place. Jules E. Bian is there in 9th place, and AJ Ventnor in 10th as they went through that sector time. These two side by... It's about these two, isn't it, at the moment? These two are going to be the guys that go for it. I love the green plates as well. It reminds me of the old 250cc class, going back to the early Grand Prix days.
Yeah, but they sounded better.
That's a fact. Thank you, Steve. Spoken as a true old boy.
True two-stroker.
Yeah.
I think is that a 250 on Richard Cooper's bike? 250 fairing on Richard?
Yeah, I think it is actually. It's something like a Yamaha TZ type fairing on it or something along those
There
lines.
is nothing in these two bikes, is there?
No,
Once they get alongside
yeah.
each other, they are just...
It just looks like Coops has just got the braking sorted out a tiny bit more, but Adam could do worse than following Richard Cooper around here and getting to know what he's up to.
Instead of the other way round, which is Coops mugged him last time.
Yes.
And he'll be looking to try and not have that again.
Yeah.
Ventnor went through there on the 39 machine. Here we go again, side by side. Ooh, I'll tell you what, that was getting close to the curb.
First race results were Cooper from McLean, Jeremy Williams 3rd, Sweeney 4th, Barry Ferber was in 5th place, and AJ Ventnor, really, really good ride from him in 6th.
Metropole corner through the left-hander, double apex, pick up late apex, and then onto Church corner next up. The 50 of Jordan is Paul Jordan on from Macrofelt on the Aprilia, under the railway bridge. I've been waiting for a train to go across that all day, and it did last time in the last race. Train spotter here in the commentary box.
Straight to Belfast, about an hour and a half, I'm told, because it stops at lots of stations.
Do you think Adam's going to do what Richard did to him in the
Well, you would hope so.
It would make sense, wouldn't it? The only problem was, I think, that Richard was so fast on the coast road, so it's going to be difficult for him.
And again, you've seen McLean go by, but Cooper, like I said earlier, is a wily customer.
That Yamaha of Flitwick Motorcycles 56 we're looking at leading right now, that exhaust system reminds me of something like an MV Augusta, half one side of it.
Need another one the other side.
Yeah, it really does look cool.
It's beautiful the way it's shaped. Some MotoGP bikes have got that kind of shape in them now as well, because everyone's gone for long pipes now. It used to be short /cut pipes. Now we're on long sweeping pipes. Start and finish area. as McLean leads from Cooper, from Jordan. Looking back, Michael Sweeney in 4th place has gone through now. Then it's the 80 machine of Barry Ferber that's moved up from Bishop's Castle on another Yamaha.
It is good, the balancing rules for this class. Cause there's quite a few different manufacturers now, and they're all very, very...
Look, Williams, he's gone down to 14th.
You've missed that then, that Richard Cooper was hot into York, but still made the apex. Sorry, Steve.
That's okay. No, I was just mentioning that McWilliams dropped away.
17th now.
Yeah, he's obviously got an issue, he's pulling out.
Well, he might still be a bit sore. Mill Road roundabout. These three are away at the front now.
Geordie might be able to pick up the toe, maybe.
Well, it'd be good if Jordan can join in, because otherwise these two are just, it's a strategic race between two men. I'd much prefer an interference in there from your 3rd place man, as I'm sure everyone else would.
I think Richard Cooper's just watching.
It's called shamming.
Yeah, he's just having a good old look. Well, if you remember last race, he just followed him for a whole lap, didn't he? Rolling it off, not passing.
And again,
you know now, let's have a look. You know he could easily go past now.
Well, I think he does, and then he gets alongside,
no,
and it's like a brake test.
I think he's rolled the throttle now.
Well, the only good thing about being able to roll the throttle on a 4-stroke is it isn't going to seize up. If we did that in 2 strokes, it would be nipped up by now. As soon as you roll the throttle, it will lean it off. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It was such a long time ago. You're the only one in our team that has a clue about 2 strokes.
I've got broken collarbones to prove it.
You have, both of them. They're not pretty, but it matches you.
Posh.
But fair. McLean and Cooper. Helicopter over top.
Geordie's surely going to get in the toe at some point. He looks like he's closing to me.
Well, he looks like he's closing, and whether that's because the two are playing strategy out front or not, I don't know. You know, Cooper and McLean, they were up against each other earlier on today. Who's learned the lesson is the question. I just think Cooper is just such a masterful tactician. You said it before, Jenny. Whatever he rides, whatever he goes out on, he's good on.
Yeah.
And I think that he's just got the brain for it. And I've never seen him quite as aggressive on the podium before. I've never seen him quite as aggressive as he is.
No, he was sore, wasn't he?
He was prepared to do whatever it takes. And that's pretty rare in a professional racer.
Even in his interview, so he remains in his little concentration bubble, doesn't he? He knows what he wants to do, and he doesn't deviate from his strategy.
He's a definite weapon, there's no doubt in that. McLean out front, though, by half a second from Cooper last time through the speed trap. 155 miles an hour is the quickest.
Way down, because the wind affects these more than the bigger bikes.
Just don't poke the horsepower, do they? You need horsepower if you're going to push through the wind. Plus the fact, I think you said it earlier on, I mean, I think the run down to Metropole probably would give us a higher speed because the wind's right up behind them.
Where they are now, because they've got a big blast here, downhill.
Is this a big enough gap to break the toe on this?
I think it is. I think that McLean has done a good job here, but how much of that is Cooper sitting back?
Yeah.
They're only on their 2nd lap. They've got 2 more to go after this one.
That gap will be like that when they go to the start and finish line.
I think you're fair. Can't argue with that. Nice neat line, picks up the first apex, picks up the second one. Out towards Church Corner. The sun hasn't yet got low enough in the sky to give them too much of an adverse sight of the track in front of them through this section. Later on in the day, a little wheelie there from McLean. Later on in the day, the sun comes down over the coast and it just gets, as you come over Black Hill, just gets in your face. Hopefully we won't be running as late as we did the other night on Thursday, where it was very, very low, but deemed okay by Steve Plater, who went out there to check it out for the organisers to make it right. You're right, Stevie. Richard Cooper's closed in just a little bit on your race leader, just enough to keep him in touch. Keep some fresh air going through the front, so he's got all the horsepower he needs as well. Don't want to get too hot by being jammed up the rear of the bike in front. Trouble is when you tune a motorbike to go faster than it naturally needs to go, or has naturally been designed to go, cooling can be a problem. When you're getting more horsepower out of the package, you need to cool it down just that little bit more as well.
Yeah.
But Cooper, as Mr. Parrish has already said, is slotted in neatly behind Adam McLean. The 56 machine then out front by 0.8 of a second as they cross the line. These two, well, three if you include Jordan, are well out in front of Michael Sweeney in 4th place. He's a long way behind. If I take a look down the order, McWilliams is still running, I think, is he?
No, he's gone.
Not, he's gone. What fooled me was the 38 of Paul Williams. That is from Wales, who is in 15th place at the moment.
Feels like Cooper's building back up now. He was really late on the brakes into York and still pulled it to the apex.
He can do it at will, can't he? That's the it's almost annoying when you watch it from our perspective, because you know he's sitting there out in the fresh air. No one behind him is causing him a problem, so he hasn't got to watch out for anybody behind him. He's just got to keep his eye on Adam McLean and mug him on the final lap. Although McLean has just put in the fastest lap, 111.135 mile an hour. That's 4 minutes 50.565. So that's not a bad lap from McLean, but Cooper has all but matched it. He's 3/10 off, and he's sitting right in the. Well, in the good seats where he is at the moment. There's no trouble from where Richard Cooper is. He can do his own line. He can close up to the back of McLean. Will he make a pass on him? I think he must have got bored in second place.
I don't think he wants to.
No, I think you're right.
This is pretty much copybook what we saw here, wasn't it, in the first race?
It's whether McLean can outthink what Cooper might try to do on the final lap.
I don't quite know what you have to do, though, to outthink someone like Richard Cooper, even if you...
When you're in front, you run your own lines, but if you do that, you know Cooper's going to be underneath you. I think it's that final chicane where you need to be
the only thing
blocking it off.
You could do, the only thing, is to try and pretend to run wide somewhere, let him through, and then have a go.
I think Coops is too sharp for that.
Well,
He'll roll out of it in different places. Almost like snooker, where we have a re-rack. Nobody bothers to want to hit the next ball. Coops again lets it go. It's wider. We're on lap 3 of 4, so only a lap and a quarter to go. From a commentary position, it's like us trying to guess what they're thinking. The way he closes up on the brakes, he has got so much in hand, Richard Cooper, on the brakes, that I just can't see how Adam McLean, without some fantastic last lap tactic, is going to be able to keep Cooper behind him. Jordan isn't close enough to interfere with these two to make it a bit more interesting from our point of view. So it's all about what these two and how these two have sussed it out, how they think the other rider is going to perform on that final lap.
The only gamble that Richard Cooper has here, if the race gets stopped, he's not leading at the time of.
That really is a short straw.
It is, but it's happened before.
It has, you're right, and I can appreciate it.
I think he's willing to take that risk, isn't he, over losing the...
Yeah, I think he is willing to take that. But so I suspect that... let's have a little bet, Jimmy. Where's he going to make the pass?
Got to be Juniper.
Well, he made it here last time, down into Metropole.
And he was fast enough to disappear.
Yeah, he was. So I don't think he'll make it here this time, because I think Adam McLean, he's not going to get mugged twice on the same corner, I would have thought. But then you've got Cooper that's particularly good, as you said, Juniper. Juniper is a real favourite, and Cooper's so quick in there, even if he uses the grass.
As I say, if all else fails, he's got alternatives.
Yeah, he's got an escape road. I keep meaning to look to see if anyone has put a cone there.
Wouldn't matter, he'd dodge it. The Valentino Rossi manoeuvre, straight through the sandpit. McLean leads by 2/10 through the last sector. Jordan still in 3rd place, Sweeney is in 4th place, but these guys are miles behind. This is the corner. Both of them out. He's tagged him as well. Well, we've had a tremendous situation here where the front runners both have gone down at the chicane, and that's a disaster, but both are on their feet, and that will hand it to...
I can tell you, Paul Jordan at the moment, because he's got a 9-second advantage over 65 Sweeney. AJ Ventnor could end up on the podium here in 3rd place. That was such an unfortunate situation. It was Adam McLean that went down, and unfortunately Richard Cooper had nowhere else to go.
Well, he clipped him. The one rider whacked the back of the other bike and took him out. So, disaster, really. But Jordan is going to be the winner. I mean, you were working out scenarios, Steve, where it could be won, and you didn't think that one was coming. So you're not as smart as you think you are.
No, I planned. No, I didn't. I mean, it's just all these things come into play.
They really do.
Yellow flags.
We're talking about yellow flag, and we definitely got one. I was worried that we might have a red flag for a moment there, but both the riders are on their feet. So Jordan leads on the 50 machine. He is heading round for a win in Super Twins from Michael Sweeney, who is nearly 10 seconds behind him on the 65 machine. Then a further 15 seconds back is AJ Ventnor, the South African. So this is a well spread out trio that will be on the podium, barring any more of this event. Ferber is in 4th place, Tweed is 5th, Goschke is in 6th place, Poncini is in 7th place, Duncan is in 8th place, Ingham is in 9th place, and McMaster on the 212 machine is in 10th place. Wow. Well, just when you think it couldn't get any more dramatic, it does. Super Twins. And this man will be very happy to inherit that win. He was too far away from them to really be playing at the very front of the field, but he's put himself in the position to take a race win, should they make a mess of it, which they have.
Yeah, I'm sure the Jackson Racing powered by Prosper 2 will be happy about this as well. I mean, fortunately, the riders are okay. You're never happy when someone falls on front and you end up inheriting a race, but those results will show.
Well, the man from Macrofelt just has a short distance to go now on his Aprilia to take that win. Paul Jordan, bike number 50, is well and truly on his way, and there are nobody that can challenge him. The only thing that can challenge him is a mechanical or a silly mistake. Yeah, exactly. But he will have looked over his shoulder and won't see anybody anywhere near him at all. So he's just got to coast this thing home, nice and shallow. Yeah, that's. He's taking it very nicely and very steadily and keeping away from the curbs as well. So Jordan, I think, is well aware that he has a massive lead over everyone else, looking over, well, under his shoulder as he was at that particular point. It's always difficult when you're at top speed to be able to look round as well, isn't it? The worst thing that can happen there is a visor rips off or something if you haven't got it quite clipped down properly. Or you end up in a dirty great tank slapper and you have to get it all back under control. That's happened.
Looks like a close battle for the final podium position between number 80, Ferber, and AJ Ventnor.
Yeah, Ferber has suddenly got his 2nd win. Barry Ferber from Bishop's Castle on the Yamaha. He's looking to try and get it in again. Another long look over his shoulder.
He can't believe what's happening here. Has the race been stopped?
Yeah, he's wondering if everybody's packed in. He's out there on a ride on his own. Have I missed some flags somewhere?
I bet the team's got all their fingers crossed.
I bet they have as well. Yeah, if anybody's mucked up and not put the right amount of fuel in or something like that, that really would be a disaster.
They were working so late yesterday to get that bike prepped. So.
Well, they're going to be very happy that the prep was worth it. So through he comes. The 2nd place man comes through as well, Sweeney. These two are close enough, but not close enough. It is, Ventnor's gone back a place, hasn't he? He's gone back to 4th. Ferber's come through. So that's a result for Ferber as well. He's going to be on the podium. So the 80 of Barry Ferber has squeezed his Yamaha up into a podium position. Well, there's an unusual result coming our way here. Unusual in the fact that the two favourites have barreled themselves out of this. Hopefully they are perfectly okay, but they were both up and walking away. I think it's only needing a... I think my friend Julian Ryder once said, fetch a stretcher for depression from those two. But the cheers will be up for a great ride, I mean, you have to finish first, and he's about to do it. Number 50, Paul Jordan, just has a short shoot to go through this long left-hander, then on to the start and finish. The checkered flag is being made ready for him. At the end of 4 laps, it is Paul Jordan that wins on the Aprilia. No controversy, a good ride, good solid ride. 2nd and 3rd places, Sweeney has gone through. This is the battle between Ventnor and Ferber. And Ferber's got it just at the line. Ferber completes the podium positions on bike number 18. So it is Barry Ferber that sneaks that third place. Well, it's great when you see other people on the podium, and everybody, I think, was it Lee or no, it might have been Philip who said just how hard these guys all work. Doesn't matter whereabouts you are in a race.
And it's the old cliche to finish first, first you must finish, and that's proven it today.
Thank you for repeating me. Vindication from Stavros. A surprise, but that's a good team as well. When we walked around the paddock the first day we got here,
yeah,
we were
very
saying
smart.
how smart the Jackson team looks. Oh, lovely. Well done, young man. See you on the podium. Yeah, that's of course, family and friends. It means as much to them as it does to the riders. They know what they go through to get to here.
Maybe some tears under that helmet. It's not lifting.
Yeah, he's not going to lift it off, is he? I'm not going to be caught crying,
He hasn't taken the tear off or anything. He's just...
Don't blame him. Well, that's an unusual part fur, mate. I hope Lee Johnson's been doing his research. One race to go here. Superbikes, the feature race is still to come. 6 laps. A little bit, the clouds have just come over a little bit and cooled us down. The track temperature has come down to 33 degrees now. It's not 6 degrees off of the track temperature, so that bodes very well for the Superbikes a bit later on. I know we've still got the celebrations up on the podium for the Super Twins. But looking forward to the Superbikes. We are in for a cracker for the final race of 2025 here.
Oh, boys, I was short shifting, and then I seen Jordan getting closer, and then I said, "Fuck, will I keep going?
I love to hear the post-race debriefs among riders and family and friends.
Sounds like they're all just hoping that their bikes make it. He's just saying it and hoping it keeps going.
Michael Sweeney's good fun as well. He's a good fun guy. Always got a sense of humour, always got a big smile. And at the Belfast Bike Awards in January, whenever you see Sweeney, good fun.
He had a massive accident, didn't he? So it's great to see him on the podium.
It is. Well deserved. Let's go down then to Parc Fermé. Paul Jordan is with Stephen Watson.
Yeah, Paul Jordan just getting a huge hug from Mike Brown. Paul, you are a Northwest 200 winner. Give me your thoughts.
Unbelievable. You know, we didn't have the best practice as such. We had problems with the bike. Even in the first race, we had a bit of a problem. And in the race, I was struggling to stay with him. It's camera will show that. But still a Northwest 200 win. I'll take that any day of the week, regardless of what the circumstances is. And hope that both the two lads are okay. But yeah, Paul Jordan, Northwest 200 winner.
Yeah, hard for you to believe. And yes, the two leaders went down, and our thoughts will be with them and hope they're okay. But what does this mean to you?
Yeah, we're Northern Ireland. Northern Irishman wins. What more can we ask for? It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't thank the team enough.
And Michael Sweeney in behind you as well.
After Sweeney's crash here, I'm well made up for him.
Paul, congratulations. Well done. Emotions running very high down here, I have to say. Paul Jordan, a Northwest 200 winner. And Michael Sweeney, can you believe it? You are on the podium at the Northwest 200.
I need a minute. Okay, speak to him.
Okay, let's give Michael Oh, you're okay now. You're okay now. Listen, I know how much this means to you. So can you put it into your own words?
In 23, I thought that was going to be the end of it with the crash, and then to come back and standing above now. I never dreamed of standing here. It's something really special. A couple of lads put this bike together last year. Gary Ryan, Damon Mulligan, Martin Jones and Christopher McGee came together with me, and we bought this bike at the start of last year. And it was a last minute thing. We chuck it together ourselves, and Frank Rattle pulled out all the stops to get it the way we wanted. And yeah, it's worked out, and I've never ever dreamed. I've always dreamed about being in a podium. at an international, and today we done it. I'm just so happy, especially what happened a couple of years ago. So to come back here and do it on the same class, than what left me in a bad way. But yeah.
I remember after your crash back then, I came up to see you in hospital. I never thought you would be back here doing this. So just what does it say about your resilience and the journey you've been on to be here?
The journey I've got here, Emma, all the credit has to be to her, really, to be fair, because she's brought me through everything. Since the crash, she's kept with me, she's pushed me, she's told me which direction to go, which way to get my head back in gear. I've spoke to a few people, and without all the people around me, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Is this the stuff dreams are made of?
This definitely is a dream. To stand in here, the crowd, I came around on the last lap, and it was like a national road race. The people waving, coming around, I couldn't believe it. And it started from Mill Road roundabout the whole way. People were just waving and programs. And it felt really, really special. I was just trying everything to keep the bike not over rev it, keep it under revs, and then I backed off a little bit. Then I seen Paul coming towards me. He must have done the same thing. Said, right, you have a big gap, he'll roll off a bit. And I seen him coming towards me, and I tried to push on again. And I said, no, whoa, just keep it steady. And I was just every gear change, making sure everything was perfect just to make it back here.
And describe the feeling to come over the line on the podium and celebrate in front of that grandstand. The place went mad.
It's unbelievable. It's something I'll never forget, to be honest with you. This is probably one of the best moments I've had in racing.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Well done, Michael Sweeney. Superb ride by Michael Sweeney. And Barry, on the Northwest 200 podium, has that taken you by surprise?
Took me completely by surprise. I haven't got a clue where we were in the race. Coming around on the second last lap there, I see a couple of lads down, and I sort of, you've moved up a couple of places, but at that point I didn't know if we were 6th, 5th, 4th, anything. So rode straight on through and into the holding area, and people were saying, weren't you 3rd? I haven't got a clue. so yeah, nice surprise. Just a big battle with Venter all the way through that, really. We were reeling Sweeney in at one point, and I thought if we could have just got closer to him. I know we're very similar pace, and you never know what could have happened. But yeah, he rode well, and we just couldn't quite catch him. So
yeah, Alan Venter, you battled with the whole race, but you didn't actually know it was for a podium at that point.
No, I didn't know it was for a podium. You just ride in what's in front of you. So to be fair, we've had battles with him on the 600 and everything this weekend. So yeah, he's been great fun, safe rider. I thought he was going to T-bone me at the chicane at one point. He just missed his brakes a bit and come back across the grass, and I was just waiting for a bang, but no, it was all unscathed, so it was great.
And what does it mean to you to be here on the podium at the Northwest 200?
Obviously, we come here and we're trying to do well, but never expected this, to be honest. Yeah, so I'll take it, however it's come. Yeah, very pleased.
Absolutely. Deserved 3rd place for you. Well done, Barry. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Can I just thank Darryl at DC Autos, who's put the bike under me, and Gary Gittins, who's built the engine, and it's obviously performed spot on, so thank you very much.
Well done. Well done to you all. Well done to the team. Lee Johnson is here. Paul Jordan is a great pal of yours. I mean, that was special, wasn't it?
Unbelievable, yeah. I'm chuffed to bits for him. I was shouting at the screen a little bit there, if I'm totally honest. And I'm going to have one little happy little boy when I get home. Jesse, he's Paul's his hero, so yeah. He's going to be chuffed to bits. And obviously I hope Richard and Adam are okay. It looked like from what we've seen, they just stood up the middle of the road, and obviously the race wasn't red flagged. So they were in with a shout of they'd pulled away at the front, and either one of them was going to win the race. So yeah, frustrating for them, but first to win, you have to finish. So credit to Paul and the whole Jackson Racing team powered by Prosper.
What about the Sweeney story?
Yeah, I was, honestly, when I had my big crash here, I woke up, I come out of the coma in the hospital, and the first noise I heard was Sweeney. So I actually thought I was being haunted, if I'm totally honest. I could hear him from the room on the other side of the hospital. So I don't know what was worse, the crash or the fact that put me in the room beside Sweeney after the crash. But yeah, he was only there for a few days, and then he got to go home, and I was there for a while after that. But yeah, he's had a long road back, and it's great to see him back on the podium here at the Northwest 200.
And after you both spent that time in hospital after crashes here, you know just what it takes to be able to get back on track, race, and never mind start winning again. Yeah, obviously he's come back here and got on the podium, so that is amazing, and the effort, and it's not even just the riders, it's the riders' family that like, they have to take all the brunt of it. We get the joy of riding the motorbike, but it's the wives, the girlfriends, the mothers, the fathers at home that they have to go through all the stress and hard work of looking after us all. So yeah, credit to them as well. Okay, let's have a look at the podiums.
Not one that we were expecting, but a fantastic podium nonetheless. It is Jordan on top from Sweeney and Ferber. I've got to say that Michael Sweeney, it's one of those situations, very emotional, and it's a bit like Ian Hutchinson, to see Ian Hutchinson on the podium for the first time for ages this week, and now Michael Sweeney up there. They're both really, really good guys. But Michael Sweeney, again, emotional after the comeback, that's for sure. But no doubt about the winner. It is number 50, Paul Jordan from Macrofell. The Jackson team looking very, very good indeed. And a sense of humour right to the presentation point. Top three then, Ferber, Sweeney, and on the top, Jordan. Congratulations to Paul Jordan. We've one more race left to go. It is the Superbikes, the feature race, of course, and we're looking forward to that. Champagne spray time for the second Super Twins race of the day. Michael Sweeney gets it straight in the face. He'll be happy to have stinging eyes after all. Great story. No doubt we will be trying to catch up with the two boys that would have been first and second, should they have made it to the end. Michael saving his final parts of champagne to squirt in the faces of the second and Let's take a look at the results then, the official results of the second Super Twins race. Today, Saturday, Paul Jordan, Michael Sweeney and Barry Ferber. Great racing from all three of them. Alan Ventnor eventually in fourth place. Darrell Tweed, Jonathan Grotschke, Mauro Puccini, Chris Duncan, Daniel Ingham and Dean McMaster rounding out the top 10. Very international field there if you look through the flags.
It certainly is. 11th, are we going to get?
Well, 11th place we can tell you is...
That was Crean.
Yeah, Crean was there, but let's take a look back at the highlights then of the Super Twins race and, well, show you how it was done. Again, I'm interested to look at the mistake between 47 and 56. The two race leaders, really, we just thought it was between these two.
Well, it was.
Trying to work